Hi everyone, welcome to class day 6. I think this is class day 6. Welcome everyone. All right, so please comment if you can hear me. Just drop the comments. Hi,
All right, so
Susan.
please comment if you can hear.
Okay, so yes, you can. All right. I had to um, work on my sound, my mic to ensure that what I'm doing is right. So, can you also see my screen? I guess you can also see my screen. All right, so that's great. And today we'll begin with Python loop. And I think when we're done with Python loop, we'll talk about things that has to do with assignment and things that has to do with your assessment for, your assessment for the week. Today is day 6. It means that from I think we started on Sunday last Sunday where we were talking about um, no, we're talking about onboarding from onboarding, and here we are. So it's really been an amazing time. Let me say it. Spending your whole week learning a new something new. Learning Python programming language. So I'm really glad. Sorry, I'm really glad that we are doing this, and so let's just keep learning. Let's keep learning. Let's keep enjoying ourselves. But this period, we're going to maybe after the class, we're going to talk about, like I said, talk about assignments, talk about uh, our assessment and everything. Okay. But let's just dive in. There's not much time to waste today because I want to do Python loop. And Python loop is very, very important. It's a good concept that we understand at this beginning stage. From next week, we take it a little bit more, high, and we start talking about other concepts. But I think in the next 15 to 20, 30 minutes, we'll be done with this. And whatever comes to my mind to do attempts to code during the class, I will just code it to explain better. Hi, Wisdom, you're welcome. Hi, Daniel, welcome. Elvis, welcome. Lillian, you're welcome. Okay, fantastic. So, first of all, by the word loop, when you hear loop, it literally means, iteration. Okay, you are trying to repeat something over and over again. That's what it means. It means you're trying to repeat something over and over again. You're just trying to say, all right, keep working, keep working, keep working. Then another thing you should understand about when you see something should keep working over and over again. There might be conditions attached to it. So you might say why this is this. If as long as this is available, continue to do this. As long as this is you could let's say for example you can tell somebody jump 10 times. Okay, so when you say jump 10 times, that instruction you are giving, there's a condition there or the instruction there. The instruction is that I want you to jump but I'm also telling you the number of times that I want you to jump. So you're going to jump 10 times. Now, in that case, there is no consideration. The person is going to jump that same amount of times he was told to jump. That's one type of looping, and which is what we call for loop in Python. Call it for loop. So it means that a set of code is done based on a specific number of instructions or specific direction that's been given to it. Okay, so if I tell you print yes 10 times, I'm going to say that okay, I'm expecting that I see yes on my screen 10 times. But how do I know? Another thing is, how do I know that it's 10 times? Okay, so that's where there's what we call counters, or there's what we call you have to do a start and stop. All right, you have to do a step. So these are just basic concept when you are doing loop. And another type of loop like we have on the screen, you can see my script. I have two: for loop, while loop. I'll talk about range later. For loop, while loop. Now while loop also, it's more like you tell somebody, as long as the sun is shining, keep crying. So what you're telling the person is that you will continue to cry until the sun stops shining. So there's a condition to that. So if you tell the person right now and immediately you tell the person before stepping out, the sun stops shining, the person stops crying. So in that case, if a condition is not met, uh, or if a condition is not true, an action is not taken. That is what while loop looks like. Let me give you. Let me come back again with for loop. For loop is that I'll tell you. I'm giving an example. For loop is that I'll tell you jump 10 times. So if I say jump 10 times, or jump 5 times, or jump 6 times, or jump, 11, whatever times I say you want to jump, you're gonna do it. Okay, even if you're tired, you're not tired, you're just gonna do it. That is how it looks like. But then, when it comes to while loop, I'm not telling you jump 10 times. I'm going to tell you something like, as long as you can hear the sound of my voice, keep jumping. So if I say as long as you can hear the sound of my voice, keep jumping, you might likely jump 20 times, 50 times, whatever times you want to. But as long as my voice, you can hear the sound of my voice. But the moment you stop hearing the sound of my voice, you stop jumping. So that is the difference between a for loop and a while loop. But also, Python has what we call a range function. And I want to talk about range because we majorly use range. Sometimes you use range to understand iteration. It's a common stuff that uh, beginners sees when they are working on Python loop. It's very common. So I want to teach you guys what it looks like. So for my screen, you can see that I said range function generates a sequence of number. It generates a sequence of number. So it could be from 0 to 20, it could be from 0 to 10, 0 to 5. It can even be for 10 to 20. It could be for 15 to 11. So all these are sequence of numbers. Then the next thing is that we say as a method described as start, stop, and step. So the idea there is not like a method, like a function. What we're saying is that it has a parameter. The right word is parameter, or an argument. Let's use argument. It has an argument described as start, stop, step. So what it means is that when you are setting a range, you can either decide what is the starting point, what is the stopping point, and what is the step. So I can say I want range to start from 0, but I want to give it a step of 2, and I want it to stop at 10. So I'm going to get something like 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, and 10. So that is the step I've given to it. So I can say I want to give it a step of 3, and all of that. So it has an argument for step. Another wonderful thing again about range function is that it excludes the last number, the last digit or number. So when we'll see it. Now, the reason why it excludes the last digit or number is because, listen to me carefully. Um, Counting starts from 0 when it comes to range. Counting starts from 0. There's nothing like 1, 2, 3. No, it's 0, 1, 2, 3. So if I say I want to print a number from range 10. I want to print generate a number from range 10. I'm going to get 0 to 9. Okay, because that's 0, that range 10 or range 10 I'm saying is like, it's more like give me a sequence of number in 10 sides. Since counting starts from 0, I'm not going to get 10. If I need 10, I'll say 11. Give me a count of number 11. All right. But all these are just plain me explaining, plain English with me explaining the idea. But let's dive into our code and see, learn something great today. Flora, Kestly, Chuko. I'm seeing this name for the first time. Francis. Okay. Hi, you guys are welcome. So let's go ahead with our code. So I'm going to scroll. I'm going to scroll down and we'll first of all look at range. So this is me printing a little bit of range function. Now don't worry about this. This is a list. Just the same way we talked about integer. This is a list um, function, which we're going to look at. So we're going to talk about it maybe from next week. But a list is something like you can see on my screen. It's literable. It's iterable, meaning that you can iterate it, meaning you can. It's like a sequence, all right, and you can go. You just take it step by step, pick the component inside of it step by step, or loop over the continent, the element in it step by step. But let's say in this case we want to create a variable called range, and the reason why I am putting it as a list is that I want to see everything you're going to generate a number for me between 0 to 12. But when generating a number between 0 to 12, put it in a list. So just take this case, is that a list is like a container. Okay, so a list is like a container, and that is what it does. It just puts item, multiple item in a single form. So I'm going to, don't worry about it, I'm going to explain all of these things maybe next week when we start doing much of what we are doing. All right. So I want to be seeing your comments. So I'm just a minute, guys. Let me set up a comment. Okay, great. So I know what I'm doing. Now, great. So let me run this code. You see, we're going to get something. We're going to get between 0 to 11. So this is 0. Like I said, we are printing a range. This is our starting step. Start from 0, stop at 12. So we get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You see that 12 is omitted. But if you look at the number of items that we have in this sequence that we have generated, it is 12. So that's why we say range always excludes the last number. Okay? So we could, let's do another one. Let me say even numbers. What if I want to get even underscore, for example, numbers using my range? I could do something like is equals to the list range from 0 to, let's say, even numbers between 0 to 15. Give it a step of 2. All right. So probably that's our even numbers. And then we're going to say, oh, sorry, this should be comma, not my. So I'm going to say print even numbers. All right. Then I'm going to run it. So you see, we're going to get even numbers. So it's saying starting from 0, it's going to jump. This is our step now. It's jumping by 2. So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So you get the idea. It's skipping by 2. And this is the step. This is the step. So in this case, this part is acting as a step. This is the stopping point. This is the beginning. So let's use our range function in a for loop, which I've already explained. So let's say we want to print. I'm going to explain something technical here. So I want everybody to listen carefully I'm going to be explaining something very technical. So let's say we want to look through, we want to, how do I explain this? Come on, guys. Let me put my thoughts together. Okay. Now, for each of the iteration that we are doing here, like I said, in this case, we are using a list, which we'll talk later. We are using a list to contain every of this value. That's why you can see it in full. But for each of these item that range generates, oh, I don't know why my, oh, sorry guys. So for each of these items that range generates, it does not actually save the value. It doesn't actually save the value. Okay, it does not save the value. The only thing it does is that it's just like, you know, when you say something is generating something, it's generating numbers, sequence of numbers, but it's not actually saving them. Okay, it's just pushing them out. So it's left for you to save them somewhere. It's left for you to keep them where you want them to be. All right. So what we want to achieve now is that we want to run the for loop. So since a range is generating a sequence of number, so we are thinking of, okay, great. For that amount of numbers you are going to do, we want you to run a certain block of code. So I'm going to write something like this. For condition, or let me say for length. Should I use length? Let me say for instruction. No, let's say length, or yeah, let me just use length. Okay, okay. Let me see what this will do for me. For length, then the next thing I want you to do is I want you to execute the code. Okay, so that's what I want. I have to I have to make this thing look great, but I need you to have a tab. Don't tell me I've forgotten how to do this, but let's see. I should know how to do this, but let me just let me do something like this, for example. Great. So let me just leave it this way. So what I'm saying is that for our length or the execution that we are going to do, I want you to execute a code. I was trying to indent it so that it stays indented. Okay. So in this case, if I explain this, what we are doing here is that for number in range 2 to 20, this is our start, 2 is our start, 20 is our stop. So we want you to do a step of 2. Now, once this stuff is generating a number, once our range function is generating a number, or is generating values, let me use that word, because this number here you are saying can be anything. So this variable, this is a variable we are declaring in between. Okay, I want to break this thing down again. I'm not satisfied with what I'm explaining. So let me do something like for. This is the syntax for variable, that's a temporary temp variable. Then your iteration, you put a space. Then the next thing that comes in play is your um, it's your block of code. Block of code. Yeah. So this is, I think this will pass my idea. So you do for, you declare a temporary variable, you have your iteration, and then your block of code. So for here is our for loop. Number here is a temporary variable which we can use inside the for loop. And then this is our iteration. This is what we are iterating over. When we start doing list, I will do that. I will iterate over a list, over a dictionary. You understand better, but just catch the idea here. So once you loop over this, now whatever results, whatever value that this is printing, we are going to be saving it inside our number, and then we can print it. So just look at what we have here. So we have the first number that ring generated was 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, thereabout. So you can see. We can also turn this to be something like this. Let me show you. I'll just come here and type it. I can say for for anything for 10 in range is a range. What is the range? In range, let's say in range 5, meaning in range 5, you are saying generate a number between 0 to 5, that's 0 to 4. Okay, I want you to print hello, hello class. So see what's going to happen. What's going to happen is that it's going to print hello class. It's going to print hello class for 5 times. So what's happening is that this block of code is running 5 times. So it will run the first time, and then once this block, this cell or whatever you have below this for loop, if it's done running, it goes back again. It runs the second time. It goes back again. It runs the third time until it gets to the number of time that our range is saying. Now, it doesn't mean it's only range you use to declare to iterate a for loop. No, there are other things you can use. Like I said, we'll do list and all of that. But I just want to show you the concept. Are we guys together? Can you still hear me? Hi, can you still hear me? I just want to be sure that we are together because I want everybody to be carried along. All right, great. We are still together. I want everyone to carry it along. This is very, very simple stuff. Okay, it's not yet complex. So let's look at another example. I'm going to first of all let me just cut this and paste it here. So let's say we want to execute a code using a counter loop. So for a number in range 10, print the value of number is. So what this is like, what if we want to, we are running a loop, we're still running a loop, and despite we are running a loop, we we want to check the total number of times that that loop is running. So this is our first loop 0. This is our second loop 1. So this is our second loop 2. This is our second loop 3. This is our second loop 4, and just goes there until we get the count of loop. So the number, this temporary variable called number here is like a fetcher, just picking things out. Okay, don't worry. I'm going to do something very, very. I'll try to do something very complex a little bit so that you guys understand what I'm saying. Let me just keep getting my thoughts. So what if I want to check if okay. Let me run this. Let me run this. What if while our loop is running, I want to catch a number? It's possible that once a loop, because this we are saying generate between this will be 9. So generate between 0 to 10, which is 0 to 9. Remember, the last number is always excluded. So while you are printing, the number is, when you get to a place where the number is equal to 9, I want you also to print to me that this is the end of the loop. Remember our if statement yesterday, where we said that this line of code, and you can see that, let me teach you something, guys. You can see that when we did for number in range 10, we indented it. This if is having its own indentation. This print, sorry, is having its own indentation. Because this if statement is under this for loop, it is staying the same indentation line with the print statement. If I do something like this, it's not part of it anymore. It's not part of it anymore. Okay, so because it's on the same line, it's this if statement is part of this for loop. Now, do you see that after I write my for loop, the print statement is a little bit indented more than the if or the previous print statement, because I'm telling Python that this one now, this print statement is a child to this if statement. So that is how Python runs their block of code. Python runs block of code using indentation. Never miss that, or else your code will have, maybe might have error or semantic issues. Okay, so let me run this. You can see that we're going to have something like this. Um, the value, because it's going to be printing value, but when it gets to 9, it runs this line of code and tells us that this is the end of the loop. But before it goes to this part where it runs this end of the loop, it checked first what was the value of 9. Excuse me. So it checked first what's the value of 9. So we can literally say that this condition that we have if statement here was checked 10 times before it was true, and then this line of code was printed. No, no, that does not explain inheritance. So don't say, try say yes, please inheritance. It's not inheritance. That's another different concept in programming language. Just know that it's a block of code, not inheritance. If you say it explains inheritance, it might not fulfill the purpose of that explanation because there's a concept called OOP, and you understand what I'm saying now. So it's not inheritance, it's just a block of code. It's a simple block of code. That's a Python. For example, if I take this thing here now, it's not part of it anymore. If I run this code, it will still look like it's working because why is it like it's working is that um, at the end of the day, if this is done running, we know we have already declared a variable called number inside our for loop. So it will also check if number is greater than 9 and print the answer. But this entire stuff is not part of this for loop again. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Okay, let me do something. Let me show us clearly what I want to explain. So I'm going to correct it and then I'll correct the wrong one. So let me use an idea to explain something to show you. So if we say if our number is greater than 5, if the number is greater than 5, print A, you just cut above 5, above level 5. So what will happen is that it's going to run loop. If it runs the first loop, because 0 is not greater than 5, it's just going to tell us the value of the number is 0. It will get to where we'll get to 6. When we get to 6, it will tell us that the value of number is 6, and then it will print this line, and it will print it till it gets to the looping stop. So look at what I'm saying. You see that we get 0, nothing was printed in between, 1, nothing was printed. But when we go to something above 5, you just say, hey, you go to a level above 5. When the number was 7, hey, you got above. No, you see, it's actually testing the condition. All right. But if I now say I do something like this, these are both different answers. Do you see that this time it's just saying it printed the loop first, and at the end of the day, it now say, hey, you got above the number 5. It was not checking it according to the loop because the if statement is not part of the loop. So that's the problem of indentation. That's why I indented it inside. And I make sure that it's part of the if you move it away from the print, you get an error. You must ensure that it maintains the same indentation with the one with anything above it. Okay. If I put this one here now, there's a problem because after an if statement and a column, an indentation is required. So I need to indent it. So these are common mistakes that you don't face when you are coding. Okay, so let's go ahead. We can also look through strings because strings it's a um, it's a sequence of character. Remember, I told you guys when we were handling strings. String is a sequence of characters, so we can also look through strings. Okay, and we can say, let's say we have. I'm going to copy this into. So let's say we have um, something called fruits save inside name. We can print it out. Let me print it out here. We can print it out. We have fruit. But what if we want to iterate over each letter. So for each letter in letter, let's use letter. Okay. So let's say we want to say for each letter in that name, we want you to print out the letter for us. So I'm going to run this code so that you see. So what it's doing is that you see that it's picking each letter out and is running it. Somebody will say, ah, but how is this possible? Let me tell you why it's possible. It's possible because if you find the length of those of us who did the assignment, if you find the length of this our name, it's going to come as 6. Follow me now. It's going to come as 6. So this is the same thing as we saying for letter in range length of name. Hmm? This time we're just going to say print let's just say print if I let me say print later first so that you see that it's just the index we are going to be seeing. Look at it. We are going to be seeing index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what this is telling us is that name has a length called 5, because if you count the total number of characters inside name is 5. It's six rather, sorry. It's 6. Fruits, it's 6. So if you find the length of it is 6, and anything that is a number, you can iterate over it. Since we can iterate over it, Python takes it that, yeah, I can just, since is a sequence of number, I can look through it. So because I can look through it, fine, no problem. Just tell me, I want you to iterate over the number of characters I have in this string. It's going to do that. So it's going to be counting it. And counting starts from 0. Remember, those of us who did assignment, when we did the place of slicing, there's something called slicing I did in it. It was in your assignment. Intentionally, I did it in your assignment so that you understand that you can slice a string. So for those who did not do the assignment, well, it's up to you. I think the admin has made an announcement on the group, so I'm fine with that. So yes, so you can iterate over a string, and we can also do something like this for letter in name, print letter, and this part of this code here means that rather than printing them, let's go back up. I think I have to take this one off. I've addressed my points. Okay. So rather than printing it line by line, you can just print it uh, together. So let the end line be a single space. Are we together? Let me confirm again. Okay, let me check the comment section. Is anyone saying anything? Okay, good, great. James said yes. Okay, fine, we're together. Let's go. Let's go. So we can also iterate through. I'm looking at this. We can also iterate through. This is the same thing as what we just did here. Let me copy this and paste here. It's the same thing. As I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to take. So it's coming like a word, but it's not actually a word. It's still printing, iterating over the letters. So even this space here that you are saying, trying to find this space. Ugh, yeah. So even this space here that we have is it has a number assigned to it. Okay, so we can iterate over it. Um, I just did this other one so that it stays stop. So this is a common stuff I also wrote. Let's say we want to look through a sentence. For example, we want to say, "How are you doing? Hope you have a great time in school and you are happy with what you were taught," for example. Now, what if I want to count the total number of times an alphabet was repeated in this statement? You can. This is just a simple program to do that. So let's say I want to. So the first thing I will do is that I will pick this. Um, I will pick this, and then in this sentence, what I did is that I turned everything to a lowercase here. Remember, because it's a string, you can do dot lower. All right, you do dot lower. Now, once you do dot lower, it's going to turn all of this sentence into a lowercase, and we are going to loop through it. So for each letter inside our sentence, if our letter is equal to y, we want you to say that count, because I first of all set count to be zero here. I want to count the number, so I'm summing count to be zero. So I said count is equal to count underscore y, because y is what we want to count. That's just the idea. So count underscore y is equals to count underscore y plus 1. Who can tell me the best way to write this? We discussed about this, I think, in our on Monday's class. If I'm trying to add to the name the same variable name, what is the best way to do it? Words and letter are not, they are not functions in a loop. Word is not a function, letter is not a function. Francis, ensure you are paying attention to what I'm saying. Those are variables. I want to assume you join late. Those are temporary variables that we are just creating. This is not a function. A function is always, it always comes with this. Oh, so very much. Francis got it. Great. So we'll do something like this. It will be something like this. Plus equal to. Great. This is how we should do it. Makes our code cleaner. All right. I like that. So you guys are. So what we are saying is that anytime you count, if anytime our letter is equal to y, add 1 to our count. Then when you are done, tell us the total number of times that y occurred. So I'm going to run this. And you're going to tell us that y occurred 6 times in our sentence. So if you want to count, this is 1. Let's see if we can just highlight only y. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Okay, so this is it. This is it. Um, let me play a little bit by saying no, 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 I still have other things to teach. Even though I would have done something, but I think it will be part of your assignment or something like that. You've seen where they will tell you that you have to write an essay, and they'll tell you that not to write above 250 words. Ask yourself, how do I write a program that counts the total number of words somebody is going to enter? So I'll tell you, input, write an essay. The person puts an essay, and then I'll say that, okay, when the person says this is my essay, copy it and paste, then I'm going to say, fine, this is good. I'm going to count the total number of words the person, the words, not letter, the words like that is separated by space. If I count it, if it's above 250, I'm going to tell the person that you cannot submit your essay because it's above 250. Reduce it. Okay? And if it's not, I'm going to tell the person your essay is submitted. Then, if it's actually above 250, I should tell the person from what point exactly did the essay the person wrote exceeded the number of accepted number of words. So that's a good assessment. I think I'm going to put that in concentration. I think we're going to get that as part of our assessment for the training. Okay, just think about it. Then the next thing is we're going to check before we leave today is while loop. Now, while loop is, as I've explained, is condition based. Check if a condition is true before executing a block of code. So we want to check. So while loop operates is what we call a counter. A counter is what we use to keep a while loop in check to ensure that the condition does not run into what we call infinite loop. You cannot tell me that while the sun is shining, keep jumping. Okay, so Yes, Flora said, "Oh, QuickBooks works like that." Yes, yes. So you're working, you're building something quite. You are building a feature of such nature that you have in QuickBooks. So you are building it. All right. So you can see when you build a little bit of these features here and there, you get your app. That's how your app comes into play. ChatGPT does that too. When you put number of words and it tell you that you cannot, put a seed. So there's how do we do that? How do we do that? You can do this with Python, and it's very very simple, very very simple. Okay. Let's go ahead. No, and I can also tell you that with Python, you can do it where somebody can upload an image and you extract all the text inside the image. These things are very simple. QR code. You can write a program that generates QR code for people that they can scan to go to. They are very, very, they are just there. It just, they're just there. So, very interesting. So, we can say S is equals to 1 in this case. Since S is equals to 1, then the next thing we want to do is that this is where we do our condition. So, we do our condition, and then after doing our condition, we can do our block of code. This is now where our block of code is. But then we are just checking our counter to ensure that A, S does not continue to remain 1. Imagine you're telling somebody that continue to jump while it is day, and you know that the day does not go down, it will always be day. It means you have told the person for a life to keep jumping. And that's what you can do with your code if you don't check the condition when working with Y. For 4, it is straight. Jump 10 times, it's jumping 10 times. Do this thing 4 times, it's doing it 4 times. Okay? You tell it, uh, oh, okay, okay, okay. I'll come back to it. Except you tell it that if a condition is met, break the for loop. Let me go back to it. Let me just follow me, guys. Sorry. Let me give you guys this. Let's say for um, for digits, so that Francis will know that I'm not later and words are not function. They are just variables. For digits in range. Shall I use range? Uh, let's say I want to find a word. I want to find a word, and if I find that word, I want to break my search. I want to search for a word. If you find the word for the very first time, break it. So let's say, let me do something like this: sentence, or let's say paragraph is equal to. I want to bring. Guys, give me a minute. I want to just generate a simple random word of 20 words. Okay, let me generate a simple word. Embrace, blah blah blah. Okay, great. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to come to my code, and then I'm going to paste it here. So let me make it a three stuff so that I can break it. One, two, three, one, two, three. So that I can just break it like this. So that everybody can see it. So this is another way of making your string, making something a string. Okay, but if I should print this, it's going to come out like, let me just show you how it will come out. Let me say print paragraph. So you see the way it's coming out. It's not coming out like a straight line. It's coming out the way I passed it. So it's actually taking this indentation. If I don't want it to, I'll just say, okay, you know what, come back here, and I run it so you can see that. But it's taking the way I broke it down. Okay, that's another thing I wanted to know. And you can also pass f string here if you want to, and pass a variable inside. But don't worry, that's that for another day. So we have this. What if I want to say I want to search for the word growing, and anytime you find growing, just break break the stuff. So I'm going to, if I do something like this, paragraph dot split, and I want to split by space, and I run this, it's going to split, it's going to split each word, and then I'm going to do dot replace. When you split, I want you to also, what I want also to do is, okay. I want to check something. str convert this to string. Let me see what I'll get. Okay, great. Then I want to do something like dot replace something that has to do with the dash dash n with nothing. Great. So I'm going to get a very clean. I'm going to get a very clean list. It's still a string anyway. So and then I'm going to let me list it back and see what I will get. No, it's not what I want. Okay, I'm going to get something like this. I don't want that. Okay, let me not just crack our head here. Let me just do what I want to do. So let's say I have this, for example, and I'm going to run a for loop. For example, I'm going to say I can do something like this for word in paragraph dot split, and I can say print out our word. Okay, so it's going to be printing out all the word for us. You can see it has printed the word out: embrace, challenge, with confidence, and all of that. It's printing all of them out. Then I can come out and say, while you are looping, uh, print if, you can say if word is equal to. So I'm going to trap, let's trap this one, let's trap everything. Let's say our word becomes a lowercase. If word is equal to, are you guys still here? Okay, if word is equal to, let's look for failures. If word is equal to failures, break the loop s. I want you to print searching for words. Searching for word. Okay, and stays there. If word is failure, so I want you to print a found. I don't know why this is always on my screen. I want to take it off so that you can see. Found the word. Let's say found the word, and the word should be our word, for example. This is a very simple stuff. Let me see. I think my loop. No, no, no. Come. I'm thinking of something. It's not trapping what I want. So let me take this off. Let's see what is happening. Okay, so this is where I wait, and I want to. This is where I wait. Hey God, I'm making a time. Let me just quickly grab this thing up. So let's say print. Let me print my word again. So embrace, challenge, confidence. Oh, now I understand. Failure has this comma with it. Oh, great, 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 great. So yeah, so I will just do something like this because it has uh, comma with it. I'm going to say I'm going to leave it the same way I did lower because I want to trap everything lower. I'm going to do comma. Let me just run this and get what I want. Still not getting what I want. Okay. So if it's what is equals to this, split this. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do print. and I want to find what is the type of word that is coming out. So, what is the type? So it's coming out as a string. So I'm actually correct. Now, these are ways that you run your code. So I'm trying to see why if word is equals to this, I want us to break s. I want us to print search for word. So I want to see why I'm not getting the exact failures. But if I don't do that in the next try, I'm going to just go ahead. So split it. Oh, okay. So let me try. Let me try another one. Let me try another one. I have 10 minutes, so I need to talk about while loop. So let's try. So let's try something like I'm trying to find something. Okay, if I list this, let me see what I'll get. Okay, great. So let me put it in a list. Let me just put it in a list. I think if I put it in a list, I'm going to get what I want. So I'm just going to do this. Okay, let me put it in a list and let me say if word is equals to failures. Let's see. I still have the same stuff. So I think I'm not getting what I want. So I'll just leave it. So I'm not trapping the idea is that I'm not trapping the word failures. I don't know if it's because I didn't spell it well. Okay, let me do keep. For example, I say if our word is equals to keep, control V. Oh, finally, guys, finally, finally. So I'm going to turn this to let's just say keep. My code is not neat enough, so what I want to explain or what I've been trying to explain is that my searching will continue to run because it's going to check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see that the first 6 times, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, the 8 times that my code is going to search is not going to say keep. So the fact that it's not saying keep is telling me that I'm searching for the word. Now, the moment it sees keep, it stops the for loop. The for loop breaks. It stops it. Okay, so it stops the for loop. And then once it stops the for loop, the other part, the search stops. It doesn't go again to look for the below part. So yeah, it's just something I wanted to show you guys, and I caught up trying to figure my thoughts around it. So yeah, let's go ahead. I guess you guys learned something today. So I was talking about the while loop. I was talking about the while loop. So y is equal to 1, y1 is less than s is equals to 1, s is less than 10. We want you to keep printing a value. So it will continue to print a value. And the moment you know that this condition is false, meaning this condition does not actually meet, it's not actually true, we're going to get our while loop is going to stop running. So I think I'll just talk about infinite loop. Those other stuff are the same stuff because of time. Infinite loop. So if you don't put your checker, for example, now look at what I did. What's in this case now we are saying that s is equals to 1 and s is less than 10. We want you to print something like this. Yeah, you can multiply a string by by a number. If you say something like John times John, it's going to give you John John. John times 20 is going to give you John 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 John, no, just like that. But in this case, I did not put a checker. I did not put a counter here. So because I did not put a counter here, this is going to be called what we call infinite loop. See, it's just going to keep running and running and running. That is what we call infinite loop. So what I need to do, oh my god, is to stop my interpreter. So I have to stop my interpreter. All right. So it is when I stop my interpreter, I can be able to stop this infinite loop. So always ensure that you put let me clear all attributes and comment these parts. Oh, what am I doing? Clear all attributes, comment it, and rerun the set. So always ensure to put a counter so that you don't have an issue. Lastly, let's check this before we go. So we set a boolean called process. We set a boolean called true into process. So why process is true, which is what we have here. I want you to print how old are you, okay, to the board. Then if you print how old are you, I want you to take a response from the user. Oh, sorry, I want you to print how are you. I'm looking at you guys' comments, and you guys are distracting me with your. Uh, I think you've caught somebody who's smart in Python, and you guys are healing the person. So well done. So I'm trying to even find who is the person so that we can all learn from the person. So why process is true, we want you to print how are you, and when the person gives us a response, remember all these dots. Always take note of all this my small stuff that I'm putting in between is to trap some stuff. So this method. So if s is equals to fine, set process to be false, meaning turn process to be false. S, tell the person, please, I don't understand what you are saying. Okay? Tell the person I don't understand what you are saying. But if the person does not put fine, and you said but if the person types fine, for example, and we are breaking our while loop, print something like this. I don't want this. I don't want this here. Let me comment it out first and just run this code so that you guys will see. What is your how are you? Enter a response. Trying to see something, guys. Enter a response. I am fine. I'm not getting what I'm. Oh, sorry. Okay. So let me rerun this again. I wasn't seeing my keyboard very well, so I'm going to interrupt. Let me escape this. So I'm going to make my keyboard a little bit smaller so that I can see what I'm doing. So let's run. So you can see that I'm having how are you here, which is what we tell the person. How are you? If the person say I am fine, it's going to tell the person, please, I don't understand, and it's asking me again, how are you? So what if I write fine here? The program is just going to stop running. That's why I put an S here. So to tell you that sometimes a while loop can come with an S. So when I run this, how are you? I am not fine. It's going to tell the person, I think I just wrote I am not fine just now. Great. So it's going to tell the person, well, the moment if every time you keep saying I am not fine, it's going to tell you I don't understand. But when you say fine, it's going to tell you that glad you're fine, and then it stops running the code. So this is just how we can apply Y control, and it's just that you must ensure that your conditions, as long as your condition is true, you run your certain code. You can do any if statement, anything in between it. All right. And yeah, so this is the same thing. All you have here is the same thing as this. This time we are not setting a variable. We are just saying why true. We want you to print how are you. Enter the response. Now, if the response is, I think now I know. This was what I was expecting in my code. How did I do this one? Funny me. So this was what I was expecting. If the person says I'm fine, just say glad you are fine. S to the person, I don't understand what you're saying. So this is what works best. This is the best optimal code. So uh, enter a response. I will say I am fine. We might not see this thing very good here. Please, I don't understand. How are you? I will say fine. Let me. It's already 9. I wanted to do something. Let me copy this. Let me go to. I don't want to go to a new sheet. Let me come here. I want to use. Yeah, I want to use a script for this one. Let me just quickly bold everything. Oh, great. Let me post this here and save it. I want to. This is a script now. This is a script. You can see that there's no say. The reason I'm doing is that I want to run it on the terminal. I want you guys to see how it's coming out on the terminal. How are you is asking me, enter a response. I am not fine. It's going to say, how are you? It's going to say, please, I don't understand. How are you? It's repeating again. If I say good, it's still going to say, I don't understand. But once I say fine alone, it's going to say, glad that you are fine. We can also do it that, and when it says glad you are fine, it stops running. We can also do it that if somebody say I am fine, you should find the word fine in the person's sentence. If you find anything that has to do with I am fine, or we can say, if somebody will say I am not fine, right, like this, and if you say glad you are fine. So there's a way we can say we want to search for fine to know if the person is fine or not, and all of that. So these are how you make programs a little bit very, very exciting and beautiful for everybody. So, guys, I want to talk about our assignment before we go. I do not appreciate the fact that out of the number of persons that I'm trying to find my screen back. Okay, I do not appreciate the fact that we gave an assignment, or I gave an assignment, and few persons did my assignments. I do not appreciate the fact. And the point is that if you did not do the assignment, you're already missing out on an opportunity of requesting to apply for a certification or the training. You are missing it already. All right, because we're going to check first of all, did you do all the assignments so that we can say, okay, let's have conversation with you on that. But if you didn't do it, it's left for you. You are not doing what is right. Don't come and say, I just want to come and take knowledge and go. You don't take knowledge and go. Okay? Take everything that you need to take. Take everything that you need to take and go. All right. So the assessment for this week is going to be coming up at most by tomorrow. So let's do our best to ensure that we participate. The link will be shared, and then you would just go with it, go through the assignment, do everything that you need to do, and enjoy yourself till we meet again on Monday. I think the assignment deadline will be on Sunday, 11:59 West Africa time. So those of us who are not in Nigeria, some of you, I know some of us are in different time zone. So please ensure you keep to it in your respective time zone. So that being said, we'll continue our conversation in the Slack channel. Please, if you have a question, run down to the Slack channel and ask your question. I'm there right now for the next few minutes to answer all questions that we have in class. All right, guys. So that's all for today, and then I'll see you on the Slack channel. Enjoy.